to Stonewatch. This is my open spoiler discussion for Cobra Kai Season 5. And if you haven't already, please smash the subscribe button and click on that bell so you can notify for future videos. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And wow, man, this season was just so damn awesome. Totally lived up to all my expectations that I was getting from watching the trailers and the clips before this thing dropped. I mean, this thing was just so damn awesome. I loved every single minute of it. Now, it had a total runtime of 375 minutes. That's a little over 6 hours worth of storytelling, and it was pretty good. I mean, there was a little spots in there was like, oh really? But at the same time, it just fed right into it. I mean, there was a lot of Star Wars references in here. There's a lot of Rocky IV references in here. I mean, that was like probably like one of my favorite lines in there when like Johnny was pretty much quoting the Rocky Balboa at the end of Rocky IV. I thought that was hilarious, man. I mean, hilarious. But I gotta say, I liked this season quite a bit. It was everything I thought it would be. I mean, like, Terry Silver turned out to be a pretty ruthless villain in this thing, right? I mean, he was kind of like that in the movies from Karate Kid 3, but I know he was like a lot more. So in this one, and then I, at first, when like in the final fight at Terry Silver's house and he had the katana sword and he was like slicing and dicing up Chosen, I thought for sure, I'm like, they're really going to go that dark, man? They're going to take out Chosen? I mean, wow, I thought that was like, holy smokes. And then like there was the fake death scene for John Kreese in the prison. I was like, oh my God, there was like 2 of them? Are you kidding me? I mean, I was like, no way, man. And then Chosen ends up surviving and Kreese ends up, it was just a fake thing. Now, I have to say that was probably like the one thing about this season that I didn't really care for. I mean, he didn't do what he was in prison for, right? But by breaking out of prison, you just pretty much put yourself right back in there, whether you did it or not, man. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to be on the run. I guess they'll probably like somehow clear his name in season 6 or something like that. But that was like the low point for me in this season because I was like, man, what are you doing? You didn't do it, you know. But again, at that point, he didn't know that was what was going on. So I guess again, that's like the low point for me in this series. And that's like out of 6 hours worth of storytelling, that's like minuscule, right? I mean, just a tiny little nitpick. But other than that, this thing was awesome. Now, I was going to do a video about if we were going to see Master Kim in this season. I go, man, I don't think they're actually going to go there because I couldn't really find any clips on it. I really couldn't find any like images to go with the story for a video. So I'm like, oh, I don't know. So I'm like, I didn't do it, obviously. And sure enough, Mr. Kim's in there. You can't really see his face all that well. So that was kind of like something. So I wonder whether or not if we'll get even more of Master Kim in season 6, right? Because his granddaughter is part of Cobra Kai now. And seeing how that Terry Silver is off to going to jail, even though he might get out because he's rich, so he's going to have a good lawyer, right? I mean, Kreese is on the run. Who else is going to run Cobra Kai? But I thought that the kid's story in this season was actually pretty good. Though I have to say, I'm kind of glad that the water park scene did not divulge as some big, huge public brawl scene like the high school was. I mean, it could have gotten there, but it didn't go that far. It just went into some kind of race going down the slide, and then somebody had to cheat a little bit, and then it almost spiraled out of control, and then cooler heads prevailed, and they just got kicked out of the water park because no one's going to put up with that stuff. That's like the one thing about this series is like when they had these big, huge public brawls, I mean, people are going to go to jail. I don't care what you do or what you say. Kids are going to go to jail if they fight in public like they have been in this show. You know what I mean? But I had to say, like, the story arc that we had with Miguel going down to Mexico and looking for his dad, that was like actually went a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I mean, what else are they going to do? I mean, unless he was going to hang out with his dad and take somebody out because he knows karate and they should become a cage fighter or something like that. Where were they going to go with the story with it? So maybe they figured it was like he went down there, he found out that his mom was right about what his dad was like, you know, so I guess. But I thought that scene was actually pretty cool. I kind of liked it, how they did that. I thought that was pretty neat. And especially when Johnny went down there with Robbie and then like that same surfer dude that took all of Miguel's money and whatever like that, he got his butt kicked. I thought, that's what you get, man. That's karma for you, right? So I thought that was kind of cool. Then there was obviously the Robbie and Miguel fight there at the apartment building and what have you. And it was pretty much like a rematch from the high school fight. I thought that was actually pretty cool that they did that and like how they kind of fought out their differences, and then after that they were cool. I thought that was pretty neat, and it was pretty cool to see Robin Lyerly come back to reprise the role as Jessica Andrews. She gets her, Elizabeth Shue Alley treatment in her own episode where she gets to come in and give like the moral support of the story, like last time it was with Daniel, this time it's with her. Now I'll have to go back and actually watch Karate Kid 3 to see if she actually says that she was from Ohio. And I'm pretty sure she did, and I just missed it because I'm like, man, I thought that was kind of neat. Because like at first when she came into the bar, I'm like, is that who I think it is? And then like the more and more you watch, I'm like, oh yeah, that is who I think it is. So, and I have to say that the bar fight with Amanda and everybody, I thought for sure she was going to start throwing kicks and punches and all that other stuff that Daniel might have shown her, but that's not the case. And luckily for her, her daughter, who has been trained by her husband, was there to save her butt because she almost did make it. I mean, if it wasn't for her daughter, this would, And of course, in Karate's bad boy, Mike Barnes comes back in the story. Now, I thought it was actually pretty cool, but at the same time, it was like not much different than Chosen and Johnny. Like they took one of the old villains from the previous films and they made him kind of like a good guy, even though he was in the first half. And then I go, man, is he gonna actually come back? Especially if they burned down his furniture store and everything. I'm like, whoa, man, holy smokes! And then he did. He kidnaps them all, and that's how they go on that raid of Terry Silver's house, all drunk and everything. Thought that was pretty cool. And that was also where Chosen almost got taken out. And then he got taken out pretty quick in there. And halfway through the fight at Terry Silver's house, I'm like, where the hell is Mike Barnes? And he finally comes in at the last minute to kind of help out. So, but it was kind of cool to see him come back. Now I see he did an interview over on the Christian Harloff channel and stuff like that. And now he's kind of hinted at that he might come back in season 6, but he wasn't really, obviously he's not going to know right away, but he said there is a possibility that we could see him again in season 6. So maybe. I mean, I thought Tori's storyline in this series was actually pretty good. Got to see a little bit more into her life in this thing. Now, I saw a article, I think it was on Screen Rant, that said that maybe that's where they're going to bring in Hilary Swank's character into the show, that might be her in that bed. I mean, I don't know. But then I saw an article in Deadline when she was doing press tour for her recent show or movie called Alaska, and she was asked a question on whether or not she was actually going to join the cast in Cobra Kai, and she kind of dodged the question according to the interview. So I guess anything's possible. I mean, and I guess in the article even says that there was a reference to her in season 2. I don't remember hearing about that reference. I'm going to have to go back and check that out. I missed that one. So, but at the end of the day, all I can say is I really enjoyed this season. I pretty much enjoyed almost every single minute of it, except for one little spot. Other than that, this thing was just awesome. It lived up to every expectation that I had, and then some. I mean, I kind of wish I'd have done Who is Master Kim video, but oh well. Hopefully they'll actually dive even more into who he is next season, right? Now, there was just a report that dropped last night that Sony is thinking about doing another Karate Kid movie and dropping it in 2024. Now, as of right now, the creators for Cobra Kai are saying that it's not going to tie into their show. I mean, I guess so, but they already tried rebooting it once, and that didn't do so well. I mean, that was all right. With Jackie Chan and Will Smith's kid, I mean, that was okay. It wasn't as good as the first Karate Kid movie, but it was all right. I mean, so what are they going to do? They're going to try rebooting it again? I mean, Cobra Kai is what's working right now. Why would you mess with that? Right? I mean, why would you they could put out a movie and people don't like the movie and that could really hurt the series. And why would you do that? This series is doing well. Don't mess with it, right? But I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So did you watch Cobra Kai Season 5? Let me know in the comments down below. Did you like this season? Let me know in the comments down below. And where do you think this story will go in Season 6? Let me know in the comments down below. And if they make another Karate Kid movie, should it be tied into Cobra Kai or should it be totally separate? Let me know in the comments down below. I mean, I'm kind of geeked to hear about this movie, but at the same time, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So let me know what you think in the comments down below.